In just a few short days, we've gone from sending in the troops to D.C. so they can stop crime to having them root out terrorists. Those terrorists are Americans.
On D.C. crime, are you concerned at all that some federal officers that are helping D.C. police might be being pulled away from other high priority assignments?
Like what? Like what?
Terrorism, for example.
Oh, really? Terrorism? They'll stop terrorism as part of what they're doing right now.
You don't have to be a fortune teller to see where this is all headed. Thankfully, Trump's masked immigration agents in Los Angeles helped us understand where this is all headed later today.
Now we're here making Los Angeles a safer place since we won't have politicians. We can do that ourselves. So that's what we're here today, as you can see.
But even before that, James Comer said that we'll just have to experiment with troops in Democratic-run cities.
You vote to allow President Trump to come into Chicago or New York City or Philadelphia and try to combat the criminal activity in their cities. So I think that this is an experiment that's probably needed in a lot of the Democrat-run cities in America.
Meanwhile, D.C. police are largely cooperating with the troops and the federal police who have swarmed the city. They've decided to help ICE gather up immigrants, whether they've been charged with a crime or not. So that means that if an undocumented immigrant gets pulled over by D.C. police, they'll just hand him right over to ICE. I'm sure a lot of these federal police are just fine as individuals, but it looks like at least some of them aren't really trained or prepared to be interacting with members of the public.
Sorry?
Get back. Get back.
Obviously, this is a mistake on D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's part. We are well past the point where any Democratic elected official, whether a governor or a mayor, should be allowing their law enforcement to cooperate with federal authorities who are only accountable to President Trump. This is clearly all headed toward further deployment of troops and federal law enforcement to cities that never asked for it. We can start thinking of this as a hostile occupation by the Trump administration as a way to threaten, cajole, and intimidate Democratic elected officials into doing what Trump wants, whatever that is. We know this not only because the writing's on the wall, but Trump and others have said that the deployment to troops and federal law enforcement in D.C. is just the beginning.
We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to lose our cities over this. And this will go further. We're starting very strongly with D.C., and we're going to clean it up real quick, very quickly, as they say.
Just in the last few days, we've had 2 leaked memos from within the Defense Department. One of them outlines plans for a domestic strike force of National Guard members who can be deployed within a few hours to anywhere where civil unrest is occurring. Another way to think about this is that this strike force will just be another paramilitary unit that's essentially only accountable to Donald Trump, that he can send wherever and whenever he wants as a show of force. The second memo, which was apparently written by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's brother, who's somehow serving in the Department of Defense, says that domestic military operations like the ones in Los Angeles and D.C. may be necessary, quote, for years to come. The memo, which was first reported by Greg Sargent at the New Republic, points out the, quote, resistance that the National Guard and ICE and other federal law enforcement met in Los Angeles as one of the challenges that these operations will have to overcome.